This is the OSU Roundup. Oklahoma State coming off a close bedlam loss in Norman. And Coach Gundy, as you think back on that game, even though you lost the game by 1 point, did you see some encouraging signs from your team? And if so, what was most encouraging?
Our effort, minimizing penalties, and we just played smart football. And I was very proud of the team. That's what we challenged them on last week, and we talked about it on the show, that we weren't giving ourselves a chance in a number of games because we weren't a smart, disciplined team, and we're giving up way too many penalty yards. We changed that. I don't know how we made such a drastic change in 1 week. That's always a concern, is how much can you get done in 1 week. But the assistant coaches must have done a great job stressing it in their meetings, because I asked them to do that. We accomplished that. They went into a hostile environment against a really good football team, and they stood tall and went toe-to-toe, and it was blow to blow. I mean, they gave us a blow, we gave them a blow. It was just one after another. I was proud of them for doing that. We improved and got better as the game went on at chasing the quarterback down. And he's quicker in person than he is on TV or watching on tape. And it's not easy to do, and our guys got a little better at it as the game went on. We were able to get him down and put him in some long yardage situations. We actually tackled pretty good. You know, when you've got some of the skill players they have, you're going to miss some tackles. We missed a few. They missed some tackles on us. So offensively, we had a really good plan. We were able to get the ball side to side, get the ball down the field. Then we were able to rush the football. I would have liked to kept Hill healthy for a while. He got banged up, and we had to put Hubbard in there, and he did a really good job. But then he started to get a little fatigued. That's the most work that he's gotten. And then JD was just a little dinged, and so we couldn't get as much out of him, and they should be fine this week. I wish we would have kicked the ball better, just for Matt's point of view. And then other than that, our coverage, we missed coverage one time on a punt that, it never fails. We had a block in the back right at the point of attack, and we didn't get it called, and I don't understand that. That's right there in front of the returner, and not that would have stopped him there, but it surely would have slowed it up a little bit. But we needed to do a better job of covering. We were on the side of blocks there. But in general, they did everything that we asked them to do in preparation, and they competed. And they played hard, and they played smart. And I was just proud of the accomplishments they made just in 1 week to get to that point.
You know, one of the themes last week that you offered on a consistent basis was this team doesn't have a lot of vocal leaders. Right. So can it happen this late where someone jumps up and says, wait a second, we're up and we're down and we're up and we're down. This needs to stop. Can that happen this late, or is it too late to see that happen?
The one thing about developing leaders and or a player saying I'm going to be a leader is you have to step out vocally and say you're going to do it, and then you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for the rest of your career doing it, because to lead in the right way is an uncomfortable situation, because there's some time in the game, in practice, in winter conditioning, in summer conditioning, you might not feel that great that day. You might be a little sick. Your girlfriend might be mad at you, and you might not want to give the effort every single day, but you can't step up and be a vocal leader unless you're willing to be uncomfortable and lead all the time. And that's why we stress that. And I said, be hesitant, because if you step out there, the other guys are going to watch you, and it's not a part-time gig. It's got to be full-time. We had 2 or 3 guys, Dave, and I said this in the press conference. I'm not ready to say who they are because they haven't done it long enough and been consistent, and they don't even know they were doing it.
Really?
No. I watched them and a little bit on the bench and in the locker room at halftime, and I saw guys, and I kind of grabbed my attention, and I watched him. I thought, he's trying to do it. He's trying to step up and do it. So hopefully those guys will come through, and the good news is they're all underclassmen from that standpoint. So leading and being a vocal leader, which is important, is not easy to do. And you have to be willing to do it and be uncomfortable, because the ones that are great leaders, they're willing to be uncomfortable whether it's right or wrong.
Stay with us when we return. A look at Tyreek Wallace's great season and some thoughts from the head coach on OSU's star receiver. That and more to come on the OSU Sports Roundup. The OSU Roundup is brought to you by Bud Light, game day's favorite light lager. By the visitstillwaterok.org Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.
Hi, I'm Coach Gundy with Oklahoma State University. With approximately 900 Oklahomans waiting for a life-saving transplant, I encourage everyone across the state to make the important decision to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. So check your driver's license for the Little Red Heart. If it's not there, visit lifeshareok.org and join the registry today. I have the Little Red Heart. Do you?
We continue on the OSU Roundup. Cowboy wide receiver Tyreek Wallace had a huge performance in the Oklahoma game, and now he's working his way toward elite company among OSU wide receivers. Wallace, 10 catches for 220 yards and 2 scores in Norman last weekend. He is now just the 3rd Oklahoma State receiver to post 2 200-yard games in a single season. The other 2, Rashawn Woods and Des Bryant. Pretty good company. Wallace has now exploded into strong contention for the Biletnikoff Award, recognizing the nation's best receiver. In fact, Wallace has more receptions per game and more receiving yards per game than any of the 3 previous Biletnikoff Award winners, including last year's winner, former Cowboy James Washington, now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if Wallace continues at his current pace, he would reach more than 1,600 receiving yards this year. That would be the 3rd most receiving yards in a single season in Oklahoma State history. So a lot of numbers there, Coach, a lot of good numbers. And so when you think about him and watch him play, who's he remind you of? Anybody that you've coached? Because you've played with a bunch of great ones. You've coached a ton of great ones. What do you think?
You know, he's as his body develops and he gets stronger because he's so young, he's starting to play a lot like Blackman did. But I saw last week where he ran under some deep balls and kind of accelerated like James used to. Yeah. And he hasn't really had that in the early part of the year. It's almost like he's finally gotten enough reps, which is what happens. So it's going to be interesting to watch him develop. I know the good side of him is he's tough, he'll block, he's unselfish, he's intelligent, he's a leaper, he's got great hands, and he'll compete. So those are really good ingredients for a good football player. His challenge now will be to not listen to all the hype, because he's...
Like the numbers I just shared.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't know his numbers were like that. I didn't realize, somebody had told me just before my press conference today, the numbers, and those numbers are the numbers that you have when you win a Biletnikoff.
Right.
Almost now.
No doubt.
The numbers he has now, with the number, leading the country in 10-yard catches, 20-yard catches, all the different things he's done. And then what, 13, better than 13 of the 15 last winners. Yeah. So I was a little bit behind in knowing those numbers, but it's awesome for him. So his challenge now is to stay humble and ignore the hype and just keep making plays.
Last year he caught 7 passes. Granted, some of those, like at Iowa State, for example, when James Washington was hurt, some of those were big catches. Did you have any idea, though, he could bust out like this?
No, I don't think it would be fair for anybody to say that he would run up numbers that are better than 13 of the last 15 Biletnikoff winners. Yeah, I think it'd be unfair for anybody to say that. But so it's awesome for him, you know, and Taylor's coming on. You know, look how much better Taylor is now than he was earlier in the year through experience. You know, he's on around 800 plays now, somewhere in that area. So now he's getting experienced and playing better, and it's just, you know, we just want him to continue to have a great week of practice. They're good young men, they're good kids, and so for that reason I don't worry about that part of it, but that's their challenge right now.
In fact, a footnote on Cornelius, he's now gone 128 straight passes without throwing an interception. That covers the last 3 games. Stay with us, more to come on the OSU Roundup.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
Welcome back to the OSU Roundup. I'm Allison Gappa. Cowboy basketball head coach Mike Boynton placed junior walk-on Trey Reeves, son of former Cowboy basketball great Bryant Big Country Reeves, on a full scholarship for the 2018-19 season. Take a look at the emotional announcement on Friday with Trey and his teammates at a Cowboy basketball practice.
Cam, come here real quick. Tell me what that says.
The definition of appreciation is to show gratitude to someone.
Thank you. Dizzy? Make sure you get it right now.
To recognize the good qualities in a person and share in the enjoyment with them.
Lenny?
So to show our appreciation for all of the hard work and dedication you have shown to Cowboy basketball, ...
Trey Reeves?
We would like to proudly announce that Trey Reeves is now on full scholarship for the...
That's not something we take lightly, right? There's no, in 2 years plus, there's been nobody that I've been more proud of for how they've represented us. The commitment that they've shown to doing everything they can. Trey's probably played in 15 games total, all right? But every time you guys need him, right, Kent? He's right there to do his part, all right? Because he cares and he appreciates the opportunity to be here, all right? So we celebrate that, we honor you, and we appreciate you. All right?
The Cowboys face UTSA in their home opener on Wednesday in Gallagher-Iba Arena. OSU leads the series 9-0. Oklahoma State women's basketball team remains undefeated after a 79-51 win on Sunday over UC Riverside. The Cowgirls host Prairie View A&M on Thursday. We come back, Dave Hunziker takes a look at the memorable games in Cowboy football series with West Virginia. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Coach Gundy with Oklahoma State University. With approximately 900 Oklahomans waiting for a life-saving transplant, I encourage everyone across the state to make the important decision to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. So check your driver's license for the Little Red Heart. If it's not there, visit lifeshareok.org and join the registry today. I have the Little Red Heart. Do you?
We continue on the OSU Roundup. Boy, some strange weather, snowfall in Stillwater on Sunday, and you see, well, the good promotional work, promoting Tyreek Wallace for the Blitnikoff, taking advantage of the snow. And speaking of taking advantage of snowy conditions, that's what happened the first time Oklahoma State played West Virginia back in 1987 at the Sun Bowl in El Paso on Christmas Day. Many Cowboy fans remember this game. The weather was pretty nice. Then it started snowing, but that didn't stop future Hall of Famer Thurman Thomas from having his usual big game. The Cowboy back carried the ball 33 times for 157 yards and 4 touchdowns. A big game for the Oklahoma State running back. He had this 4-yard touchdown with just over 5 minutes left to play. But the Cowboy defense needed a stop to hang on for the win. West Virginia with a touchdown with 1:13 left in the fourth, and the Mountaineers down by 2 went for the tie. And what a crazy 2-point try this was. West Virginia's star quarterback Major Harris keeping this play alive. He finally lets it fly, and it was Sean Mackey out of Marlow, Oklahoma, who made the big stop He stopped the Mountaineers a yard shy of the goal line. The two-point conversion no good, and the Cowboys hung on for a 35-33 win, and OSU finished with 10 wins and ranked number 11 in the Associated Press poll. The next meeting between the Cowboys and Mountaineers would happen 25 years later in Stillwater. West Virginia made its first journey to Stillwater as a first-year member of the Big 12, and it was a huge game for Josh Stewart. Stewart scored on this 46-yard touchdown to start the scoring. He finished the afternoon with 13 catches for 172 yards and 3 touchdowns. Special teams were also a key. Justin Gilbert takes this West Virginia kickoff and hauls it 96 yards for a touchdown. Gilbert, one of the top return men in Oklahoma State history, that helped the Cowboys lead West Virginia 31-17 at half. West Virginia closed to 38-34 late in the third, but the Cowboys scored the last 17 points. Jeremy Smith with this 21-yard touchdown run with just over 9 minutes left to play. That put the game away, and the Cowboys beat the Mountaineers 55-34. And since West Virginia joined the Big 12 for that 2012 campaign, the Cowboys have won 4 out of 6 against the Mountaineers. Coming up, we'll hear Coach Gundy's thoughts on the West Virginia matchup when we come back. Back to wrap things up on the OSU Roundup. Before we do, a preview of West Virginia, and here we go, a third top 10 opponent in 4 weeks.
Yeah, they're a really good team. A lot like the Oklahoma team we just played. They're very explosive on offense. They're really mature. I think they have like 8 starters on offense, maybe that are seniors. 13 and 12 and 8 are wideouts, make a lot of plays. The quarterback's a really, really good player. You know, he's settled in now. See, he's, in my opinion, playing much better than he was last year, and he's gotten all those reps now. So now he's really good at what he's doing. And then defensively, they're up there. I mean, they play really well. Teams that have scored on them have done it kind of in big plays. I mean, there hadn't been a lot of drives that have been consistent down the field on them. You know, they're in their 3-3 stack, and they'll blitz you. I mean, he's going to blitz us. He's a guy that's willing to bring one more guy than you have in protection and try to hold his own in zero coverage, and he'll roll the dice, and if you don't have answers, he'll keep doing it. So they're having a great year. They got a lot of maturity and playing with a lot of confidence. So it'll be a real challenge for us. We'll have to be good in all 3 phases, have a great week of practice, and then play really smart football like we did last week and get some good quality leadership. It should be a great experience and should be a great environment on Saturday afternoon.
In fact, 2:30 kickoff for the Cowboys and West Virginia Mountaineers. For Coach Gundy and Allison Gappa, I'm Dave Hunziker. See you next week on the OSU Roundup. The OSU Roundup is brought to you by Bud Light, game day's favorite light lager. By the Visit StillwaterOK.org, Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.